Hello everyone, welcome to episode 71 of Diamond Cast. Today, we're just going to be talking and freestyling because no, that's not true. We have got something. We've got, stay tuned, if you're a Patreon fan, at the end, we're going to be talking about something particularly exciting we discovered this week, thanks to our friend Mona, who most of you know. But before we all kick off, what is going on with Adam and Ben this week?
Well, I want to pick up what we were talking about just before we started filming that, which was about pencil cases and lunchboxes.
So you asked me about whether or not the school issue pencils, we had the same ones, and I said you were a loser if you used a school issue pencil.
What, like That's interesting, because if you bring your own pencil, isn't that slightly nerdy, though? Because you're making the effort.
No, because not all effort was considered bad. Because right. If you don't make the effort to bring a pencil case, it's like if you don't make the effort to deviate from the colour of coat you're supposed to wear. Like I had a Flintstones coat at primary school, right? Which is cool because very it's cool. not regulation, right? But if you made the effort to deviate from the regulation, like the regulation pencil, you got to make the effort to deviate from the regulation pencil, which you correctly identified as the black and yellow Staedtler pencils. Did anyone else have those? Adam, what pencils did you have at school?
I had a pencil that's like a pen, and you can push the end in and it comes out a bit more.
Was it a Papermate?
Sounds quite sophisticated. It sounds quite technical drawing level. Yeah. That's very good.
I had one of those as well after, customized pens. But at the beginning, I had Yikes pencils. Now, if anybody's unfamiliar with the Yikes pencil, it was a pencil that was in the Scholastic Book Fair between the years of 1992 and 1997, I think. And it might have been before that, but I was only there then. And they were all, instead of the wood being wood colour, they were all different coloured wood. And when you sharpened it, it was softer. And they all had brightly coloured, zany, erasers on top and loads of weird foiled pencil shafts, and they were all different and they were all exciting, and I used to have a pencil case full of them because I used to buy them at the book fair, and all the kids used to ask if they could borrow them, much to my dismay, because then they went down faster and other kids had sweatier hands than me, so they rubbed off the foil. This isn't interesting, is it?
Well, it sounds like it affected you emotionally.
No, I still got them as a collection, actually. I had a set that I ended up lending out, and then I had a set that I kept myself, which I didn't ever use, and so I still got them, and they're very nostalgic to look at. But I'll have to share with you guys what I'm talking about.
Strategy.
If you don't know what I mean. Yikes pencils. No idea. Not even you, Adam. Well, no. Do you think this is what this shows? Our difference in age is really apparent now, because maybe it's something that was new.
Maybe I know if I saw it
at that time. Oh. Maybe I'm sure they were out when you were. Never mind. Anyway,
what about pencil cases? Because in my school, that was a sign of status. If you had a certain pencil case, it was you are cool if you have this. For example, if you had something that was on telly at the moment, or a perhaps more expensive pencil case, it aligned with your worth as a human being. So,
absolutely did. Completely did.
Did you?
And you had to change them every season.
Right, to make sure that you stayed up to date. Yeah, you couldn't have one that was 4 years old and dilapidated.
Not even 1 year old. If you still had your year 4 pencil case in year 5, you were an idiot.
Mine was black rubber, and I got gold pen and wrote all different band names on it. So that's
in the logo, or just wrote
coolness.
Did you draw the logo of the band name?
Varied, depending on.
Oh, was it like a black soft zip up one?
Yeah,
and then you could draw. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think it got to a. It did get to a point, I think, where when one started becoming really interested in bands and culture and stuff, you start writing the names of everything on what you liked, and what you liked on everything. I remember doing the same thing with my my shoes, writing in coloured pen, felt tip.
You wrote on your shoes?
Yeah, my white trainers is what we call them in England. I had fluorescent orange laces. And I'd write all the band names that I liked on it.
Yeah, well.
Goodness me, I'd have got in so much trouble if I'd written on my shoes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really sure why I didn't, because that was a bit off brand with the rest of what was occurring. But seemed to get away with that. And also the classic was having one of those military bags, rucksacks, like a Hessian. What was the canvas sort of material, very grunge
with a flap.
Yeah, very grunge, and things could just really easy fall out of it because it didn't have any zips. And having one of those bags and then borrowing on band names was a really important part of being part of the sort of mini culture of
It's like
alternative.
a precursor to getting like a denim jacket and sewing patches on it.
Yeah,
It's a battle pencil case.
It's before you.
a battle bag, battle satchel. Maybe Angus had one.
Battle
Oh
satchel.
yes. What's his
We used to have those messenger bags, you know, the ones that flipped open like a satchel and it had a Velcro that you did it, and everyone had a different thing on it and you'd put things on it. But that was
Pretty cool. What was your school bag like, people? Write in, let us know. Because it could have been quite an important thing, because it was something you used every day that was something you could use to represent yourself, if you could. You might have been in a situation
it's
where
not
they
the
said,
uniform.
yeah, you have to have this bag, okay. Or it might have been a situation where you could only have that particular bag. But if you were able to choose, what did you choose and why? And for a lot of the trendier kids in school, there was only really one bag you could have, and if you didn't have it, then you were ousted from the from that particular
Was
strata.
it the canvas bag you were talking about?
No, it was the trendy kids. It was more just like I don't know, a particular Nike bag
knew you
or
were
a
gonna
Kappa
say
Yeah,
Nike.
but
bag
if
or
you're like
something.
a non-rock person, then it's all about like the sports brands.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. If you're a non-rock person, it's about which sports brand do you choose, even if you don't actually
Well,
do any
sports brand
sport.
or band, right? If you were a rock person, you had a sports
or
bag,
band.
then God help you at lunchtime.
Yeah, totally.
Not that they'd hurt you or anything. It's just like everyone would look at you funny, wouldn't they? Like,
Yeah.
Individualism, I think.
I think I had a really
conform.
old-fashioned, like high-tech bag satchel when I was in year 8, which was this sort of middle ground of not being a trendy sports bag, but also not being an alternative rock bag. So yeah, I was sort of in between in the limbic state.
Are you
the
talking in
liminal.
like secondary school, high school years when you're older? Or are you talking about like in primary school when you are a small child?
It's definitely secondary school. So it's the ages of like 11 to 16, where you're beginning to get a sense of agency over the things you choose about your appearance.
I took it back to
also.
primary school, apart from lunchbox. Because like, I had
Fair point.
Now,
Yeah,
lunchboxes are a whole other kettle of fish, aren't they?
Oh yeah, you turn up and you'd have your drawer, wouldn't you? That had your name on it. You pull it out and there's where your stuff is.
Something's there every day. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair play. But yeah, pencil cases and lunchboxes. Yeah, that's another thing. Do you remember there was that one particular shape that was very prolific, which was quite square, and you'd have a flask in it as well as part of it? Are you about to show me?
He's just about to get it out.
That sort of dimension, but not that cool. That's a bit sort of metallic and cool, isn't it? Whereas these were
Yeah, they were plastic, weren't they?
plastic and a bit more
This
like
one's
they
really
had
cool, though.
weird contours on them. But then they would have a flask.
The flask.
With a cup
The
on
flask
top.
is very important, and you took the cup off and you could pour your drink out.
And that particular shape, you could have Master of the Universe, Powerpuff Girls, Power Rangers, Knight Rider, Thundercats, Dukes of
Wrestling.
Hazzard, wrestling, yeah, and it was that shape, and that was what most people I think had was that lunchbox. I didn't.
What did you have?
Some pathetic little container.
This is the root of the issue.
Like a Tupperware. Well, you had like a Tupperware. Oh,
I don't even know if it's Tupperware because remember that's a high quality brand. They simply
Timu
have been
Tupperware.
a closable plastic food storage container. That I remember for some reason I always had a wedge of Edam cheese. That was part of my go-to, and I don't know if that was something I requested or my mum just decided that I was going to have. So yeah, it was actually very nice. And then if you brought in a
Better than
lunch, you would go to the sandwich room at lunchtime. The sandwich room.
well, so
and-
they segregated people with
Sandwiches.
packed lunch versus school dinners.
yeah.
They
If
weren't
you
in the same place.
Not at all. No. If you had school dinners,
Why?
you would go to the canteen and buy food with money. And then if you had sandwiches, you would have to go to the sandwich room and sort of sit in this kind of dour silence with the other sandwich people.
In secondary school or primary school?
This was in primary. In secondary, I can't remember. I just remember like going as far up the field as I possibly could at lunchtime.
Yeah, the field.
Just to sort of
In,
get away
in
from
secondary
everyone.
school, it's every man for himself. You can eat wherever the hell you want. You can do whatever you like and pack lunch, unless you want to buy some food from the canteen, which you go into, buy the food, and then immediately leave as fast as you can, so you don't have to sit in there too long.
What but then if
in secondary
if
school.
you bought hot food, where would you
Yeah,
then
you had
take
to
it?
just
if you
shovel
weren't
it
gonna-
in.
Right.
I never did. I had hot food like 4 times in school. I used to buy a sandwich and a donut and that was 95 pence, and that would be my school lunch. But I normally had packed lunch. That's the only time I had school dinner.
But lunchtime was one of the few times that you actually had the possibility to get some sort of solitude. So we used to try and hide in the library and eat our sandwiches there. Because you knew that the library was somewhere where you weren't unlikely to get bullied. So you'd go to the library and you'd eat your sandwiches, but you weren't allowed to. So you had to eat them surreptitiously out of your bag while pretending to read the Two Towers or whatever. So it was still just like another form of like running the gauntlet, vigilance of have to make sure not caught eating sandwich whilst reading Two Towers. Relaxing.
I went to the library to actually read books, and also because it's the only place you could go on a computer that wasn't like a designated computer room. So I would spend it writing stories on the computers at lunchtime. So which one of us is the nerdiest? You decide.
Right in.
I had friends.
What did you do at lunchtime?
It's like had fun.
You and all your friends from the lads from the Art Royale.
Well, no, I wrote tons of stories and browsed IMDb for the biographies of certain,
Directors,
actors and
actors.
things.
Yeah,
Actors, yeah.
Were you
'Cause it just
allowed
come
to
out.
do that? Was that a allowed use of the computer?
You could do whatever you want. It was the beginning of the internet. Like there was no restrictions. There were no like child locks or anything. You could go on whatever you wanted. They didn't know about all that stuff. It was like, oh, you could go on the internet, and you know, people used to. Well, the only thing that we didn't know how to do is kind of like hack into the intranet, because there was an intranet, and you couldn't get out of that. But you could do anything you wanted.
Was it actually called the intranet, as in it was the net within the school?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Right. No. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a drum effect.
Well, so there's branded lunchboxes for the cool kids. I didn't have one. I abstained from the corporatism of lunch by having just dinosaurs on mine, just, you know, independent, non-corporate dinosaur lunchbox in primary school.
Non-Jurassic Park.
Yeah, no sponsor.
No, just pictures. But it was in primary school, because in secondary school, didn't take a lunchbox because I just had like, you know, my lunch was in my bag with the rest of my stuff. Because it wasn't cool to have a lunchbox.
No, lunchbox is a primary school thing.
It's the extra thing you have to carry.
Yeah, you just have some sort of container. Like,
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
I just had 2 chicken drumsticks wrapped up in foil and like next to my books.
Well, just hurled into the bag to survive, to defend for themselves.
Wrapped in foil in a little food bag in a Ziploc thing. That's how it happened.
Okay. Still, a danger of being crushed by a hefty textbook.
Exactly.
Or like leaking or scraping or greasing over, which happened.
Dangerous
But
times.
I refused to, you know, I had so many other things to carry. How did you guys
carry
have
lots of bags?
No, I did. So my general bag was PE kit, guitar, art folder, regular bag. So I had 4 things on like 2 days a
Why do you
week.
take your PE kit every day?
Where are you going to put it?
Well, we don't have PE every day.
No, 2 days a week.
Oh, I see. Guitar's pretty full on.
Yeah, I didn't take it every day. I took it once a week, guitar. But then if you have PE and guitar on the same day, and my art folder was A1.
Nightmare. Oh,
like
and
an
the
A1
art
folder.
Just
You know how big an A1 folder is?
Yeah, it's insane.
So it's me. So you think I'm taking a lot of bags around now when I take 3 bags.
Your bag has to be.
This is compact for me.
There we go.
It was a real concern. You had to think, how do I actually get to school with all this stuff? Absolutely. Yeah.
I wish I'd been, you know, smart enough to just get a trolley or one of those wagons.
Oh, really? Can you imagine going to school with some sort of shopping trolley?
Like an old lady trolley thing.
Yeah, it wouldn't have gone down well.
What if you wrote band names all over it?
I don't think they wouldn't get the irony. I think they think you're a loser.
Yeah. Because you were showing some sort of like wherewithal and agency, and that's frowned upon.
Well, no, if it looks like your parents bought it for you, then you're a loser. If you chose it, then it's okay. So if I'd got to the point where,
and the decision and the case, I mean.
And the teachers wouldn't let you take a wagon because all the kids would get in it and you'd run them up and down the...
True. What if you'd gone to school on a pedal-along tractor with a little trailer on the back that was full of all your stuff?
Is that what you did
That's
in
so
Bristol?
West Country.
You both were there. That's what we all do. Where's your tractor? You didn't have one. We all had one. Standard issue. No, I didn't have. Oh, actually, I did have a small plastic red tractor, but I didn't drive it to school. I merely pulled it around the local.
Were you making a Lego
area.
tractor the other day?
I was making a Lego.
Oh, yeah, how's
See,
it
this is
going?
all coincidence. It's not because everyone in the West Country is obsessed with tractors. It's just
Yeah,
coincidence.
but no, it's just natural for you.
Yeah, it's just a natural thing. Lego tractor is complete and is now resplendent on the shelf. Bit of a loss now because I'm not sure what to make. I have to find another brilliant Technic Lego.
What should Ben make? Please, everyone, send Ben links of things that he can buy on the internet from vintage Lego Technics, and we'll see what we can get Ben to make.
Yes, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Could be time to seamlessly segue into today's subject.
Yeah, seamlessly. Yeah, I feel like every week is becoming more and more of a sort of therapy session on like what we did at school, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is, yeah.
I think it's good. I'm starting to think about that cake and custard more now.
It's interesting because we could directly compare things that happened at a very formative time for all of us, for everyone, I guess. It's quite a formative time, school, and it's interesting to see what was normalised and to go, wow, that's really weird. You did that. You went to school, yeah, exactly, and you can understand each other a bit more. You went to
Everyone's
school
got different interpretations of it as well. And well, apart from like geographical differences, but there's also like if you went to a mixed school or a single sex school, there's a massive amount of differences in what you were allowed to do socially, what was cool and what was not cool, and things that you would have got picked on for, and how you'd ascertain yourself in the hierarchy of school is different in the sexual dynamics as well.
Was there certain rules, not rules, but signals and coding and preferences around things like how you wore your tie and what shoulder you had your bag on, stuff like that? Because we had all that. Did you have any of that?
I thought Natalie would have that because he went to girls' school.
We didn't have ties.
Right.
We had open blouses. Girls,
Smashing.
big girls' blouses.
Was smashing.
Smashing blouses, yeah, we didn't. No, who cares what shoulder you wear your backpack? It's more like the smaller your bag, the cooler you were. So if you had like a little handbag that didn't fit any textbooks in it, if you had a backpack, you were not as cool. Backpacks were,
But you can't have backpack.
function.
You can't have both shoulder straps on.
Yes.
Oh,
See,
no.
that was.
Oh no, you wouldn't do that. Yeah, it didn't matter which
crazy.
one.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
No one cares which one.
It seems like anything that illustrated that you were somehow interested in school, as in having both straps, having a bag with books
Practicality.
in our school, you weren't allowed to wear your tie normally. There were various different code systems.
Was it
that
really
came in.
short?
Sometimes it was really short. Sometimes it was really long. Some one season, if the knot was really small, you were cool. Another, if it was really big,
Oh
you
my
were
god,
cool.
is it like signalling with a handkerchief?
Yeah, there might be some aspect of that, but I think it was just to do with how can we tailor what we have to wear into a way that is somehow makes us feel different, or that we've or sort of that we've
Rebellious.
Taken ownership of it, or rebelled against
yeah.
it in some way.
Oh yeah, completely. Like absolutely, it was like make the school uniform like yours, and also make it fit within the clique you inhabit, which was based on music.
Yeah, there was a period where, because we had a white polo shirt, there's a period where people start wearing like a black long sleeve underneath, so you look like a
Nice.
skater rocker.
Nice, that's cool.
Let's do that for a while.
And they let you, but until I bet someday it suddenly was like, we're not allowing that anymore.
Yeah, it's too many people started doing it. But
Oh yeah, no, we
we're allowed
used
to
that
for
makes
a
the
while.
uniform again, doesn't it? We used to have like because we had an open neck blouse, like we could wear like something underneath it. So if you wore a black collar, it made it look like a band t-shirt, or it was a band t-shirt, and that sort of signified that rockness as well.
Yeah.
Right. So just little signs like that allowed you to kind of rebel for a bit.
Well, I wore my socks up to here because it said you could wear socks or tights, and I said, okay, fine. So we could roll our skirts up, and they'd tell you to roll them down if they were too high, and we'd roll them up, and I'd put my socks over the knee, and it looked cool. I looked like the girl from Clueless, I think, in my head. I probably didn't. But the other girls in the younger classes were all like, "Oh, you got your socks up like that for? You look stupid." And it was so funny because when I got to sixth form, they all started doing it. I was like, "Oh, you look stupid."
See.
Trendsetter.
Yeah.
Yes. I said, watch the movie Clueless and then you'll know.
Yeah. Then you'll become clue full.
Glued
Yeah.
in. Clued up.
Clued up, clued in, clued
Cluedo.
Cluedo.
But yeah, anyway, that's enough of that. We got a nice comment from Paul Duckworth on YouTube, who asked about, from last week's episode, future aspirations for Diamond Black, talking about Iron Maiden being 50 years celebration this year. By the way, Edfest is this year, and they're not doing another tour until 2028, and so we should definitely go. Everyone should go. It's going to be really good. So for you guys, would you hope Diamond Black is still going in 50 years, or would you be hoping to be retired or doing something else by then? And do you want to be prolific, turning out lots of albums, like Frank Zappa, who released 100 studio albums or more, considered turning out an album only rarely? Poison hasn't released one in 20 years, and Anthrax hasn't released one in 10 years.
I think somewhere between the two. Thing is, I think you can't stop writing music, I think, and if you're a songwriter, it never really goes away. So. But the thing is, I think we'd like to put 100 albums out, but it takes us quite a long time to get around to it, if you haven't noticed already.
Do you think 100 dilutes the quality, though?
Yes.
And the ability for people to understand, like, your body of work?
I think, I mean, 100 albums is quite a lot.
It's insane.
You can't be as picky with your tracks. They can't all be gold, can it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's, say someone goes, hey, have you heard this band, Colin's Table? Great band, by the way.
Cool.
I've just made it up. Is it better if they go, oh, Colin's Table got 25 albums, and you're like, oh, I don't know where to start? Or is it better if they go, they've got 7 records and they're all really good? I'm not sure what's preferable. And you take a band like, many bands who the quality is very different and the style is very different across the entire oeuvre. So it's sometimes difficult to say, I am definitely 100% a fan of this band because their output is so different. Whereas there are other bands who have been pretty consistent across the board in terms of quality. So yeah, it's a tricky one to say. And then you take a band like, I don't know, Motorhead, and they've done a lot of albums, although most people will only be aware with a certain period of the band's output because that was the halcyon era of their work. But it doesn't make, that their latter work doesn't make, if it wasn't as good or well revered, it doesn't pollute the earlier stuff. Whereas some people say that it does, say, oh, they should have stopped while they were ahead.
Especially if you change style as well, then people will be like, oh, it's not as good as the other old stuff. I think the Manic Street Preachers, as we talk about them a lot, but they're a really good example because they have different eras, and they've got like, I don't know how many albums they got now. I must have about 15, quite a lot. But most people only know them for like 2, and they vary in quality and style.
Yeah,
I think Diamond Black, we want to put out as much as we can, but while staying true to ourselves and keeping the quality up, and while we're enjoying it.
Yeah, I guess with certain bands, you kind of think, why are you even putting out records anymore? Because you're so successful, and do you have anything else to say? Well, clearly they do, because as a musician,
got bills to pay.
Well, maybe they can still make enough money off the back catalogue, and they. But why do they still make albums? Well, because they want to.
They love making albums.
And exactly. That's it. And
it's something maybe you can keep doing. It's like you don't have like a retirement age. Really.
That's true. It's not like being a footballer or something. You can just keep making records, and regardless.
Give up.
Regardless if anyone likes them anymore, if you still like them, that's all that really matters, I suppose.
I mean, Ozzy Osbourne performed until like a week before he died. And he was sitting down in a chair and everything, and obviously, like, not in great health, but still, like, dominated it.
Yeah, and you sometimes see critics saying that band should give it up. They're too old to go out playing now. They need to stop doing it. But if they enjoy doing it, then that's really the only barometer, right?
What if they're really shit?
Well, I was going to say.
I was thinking Vince Neil.
I don't think that's because of their age. I think it's because they have passed their prime enough that their music quality isn't as good as it was. Whereas, like, if you're like Mick Jagger, right? The Rolling Stones, like, they do a performance once in a while, right? Or Iron Maiden, right? Like, Iron Maiden are stronger than they were in the 80s, right? Like, in terms of their performance and their live performance, they'll play for like 3 hours straight. Watching them is they have the same energy that they always have had. They bring the same energy. They have the same quality, if not better. I think people aren't going to ever say that they're too old.
It's tricky, isn't it? Because I have seen other bands of that generation being criticised for they can't sing as high as they used to, so everything's tuned down and it becomes like really strained. And so therefore, yes, the performance is not as good.
I guess hair metal is quite a falls foul of that quite a lot because it's so like, hey, screaming, shouting. Oh.
So it's not. So it's like a footballer. Then it's like as time goes on, your body actually physically can't reach the
notes.
I guess it's a vocalist problem.
No, because Mick Mars retired, didn't he, because of his health?
He didn't get worse at playing guitar, did he? He's just
that's true.
More,
That's very true. And Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden, he retired last year, didn't he, from drumming? They've got a new drummer because that was, he said he couldn't. No, he's not ill. He couldn't give the amount of energy to the performance that he wanted to, and he didn't want it to diminish.
Yeah,
I believe that's what he said. Anyway,
very physiological job being a drummer. Maybe less so being a guitarist. If you're a guitarist, he sort of just stands there. But
Mick Mars, his movement was only in his hand, wasn't it? Like he just stand and just moving his hand.
But yeah, I mean, what's the argument? Is that if the band are still enjoying playing and people are showing up, what's the argument to say they shouldn't be doing it anymore?
Yeah, I guess the only argument would be like if you actually shit and then you start hurting your own legacy.
Well,
do you think that's the case?
So.
Didn't that happen to Meatloaf? Like he had such a strong. Well, there was a lot of. I never saw him live, sadly, but towards the end of his life, he wasn't able to sing as powerfully as he did, and so a lot of his people going to his concerts would say, he could see him struggling and things. No, not in a way, not in a mean way at all, because they all loved him. Yeah. But it was in a kind of like his voice isn't there anymore. That's the. People used to say, "Oh, Meatloaf got shit. Meatloaf's not good now." But I mean, he obviously, still did gigs. But I used to hear a lot of bad things about him.
It could have been that maybe he was contractually obligated to do stuff. He didn't want to do stuff anymore. I think if the artist genuinely enjoys performing, then they should probably be allowed to keep doing it.
Yeah, as long as people keep coming, keep turning up. I guess it wouldn't be so much fun if no one turned up. Then you probably should read the room.
What was the sub-question in that?
It was about number of albums that you want, and also longevity of the band. So would you hope Diamond Black is still going in 50 years or for 50 years, or would you hope to be retired or doing other stuff by then?
It's so hard to predict, isn't it?
Can you?
Well, I'd like to evolve into work in, doing production or doing, film scoring or something like that. But that'd just be adding new musical, projects rather than stopping doing this.
Yeah, it's not like you're in Diamond Black, but you're not only in Diamond Black. There's all these other things that you can do to work, and you never stop being in Diamond Black unless you actively decide, right? You might do an album, do 3 albums in succession now every year, and then not do an album for 2 years. I mean, you haven't stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
I think as artists get more successful, sometimes they take longer breaks between the albums. Like AC/DC now bring out an album about every 8 years or something.
Yeah, no, it's not the same.
I disagree.
Every single time Ben mentions AC/DC, Adam says it all sounds the same. Every cast.
Well, you always sound the same, saying the same thing.
The irony in that.
For example, yes, because they're at a point now where they probably don't need to, and they just every 8 years go, "Oh, should we do an album?" Yeah, all right.
People get annoyed if they start sounding like someone else. You'd be like, "This isn't an AC/DC album."
You get more pressure though, the bigger you get to
sound the same.
Do you get more pressure on yourself? Like, oh shit, we got more to live up to, more expectation.
I think that's an odd one because you do and you don't. People are like, "Oh, it's a new album," but at the same time, because your legacy's so strong, let's sort of forgive you if it's just okay. And they'll come to the show and you maybe play 2 songs from the new album anyway, amongst 25 other songs that they all really want to hear. So it's tricky, isn't it? It's a tricky one. Tricky one.
Yeah.
We'll keep going as long as you guys keep listening.
Yeah. That's a good answer. We got a short one today. It's my fault. But
We spent 20 minutes talking about bloody pencil cases and stuff.
Which was quality content.
So I wanted to ask you if you guys think, has rock's newfound openness about mental health changed how and why artists make music? With a sort of, I was thinking about like, what is the muse now, right? So if a muse could be a person, it could be a thing that like drives you to write music and create art. Has it got anything to do with the drugs of the era? The reason I'm talking about this is because the muse in the 80s, and it was rebellion, excess, right? Punk, it's anger, right? Anti-establishment. It's like there's also a different set of things people are chemically inclined to, and you've got now everyone,
60s
it's more
and
like
LSD is obvious.
60s and LSD, yeah, and then kind of more. It's like uppers, downers, and that kind of thing. And I think now it's more like, I don't know what the thing is now, but everyone seems to be on some sort of like antidepressant or therapy or ADHD or medication, like some sort of amphetamine. So does that have to do with anything? There's a lot of questions there.
It's quite a rich subject, and I would recommend that maybe we save this as to flesh this out fully in another episode. But as just a quick overview, I'm happy that if we just give it like a bit of a kind of idea of what we generally think about that, and then we can because this is a great subject, and I think we should be able to talk about it at more length.
I'll do some research.
Yeah. Okay. Well, chop that bit, and then I'll just ask a question about the openness about mental health.
No, we can leave that.
Yeah. Do what you think do what you guys think is gonna fall best.
Okay. So, and last question of the day: has rock's newfound openness about mental health changed the way people write music, and why?
Well, I guess. I think that it's something that's always probably been there in terms of writing about things which affect you on an emotional and psychological level. It's become more transparent in terms of this is now what we are doing, perhaps, than it was previously.
It's like in terms of how we're writing and using mental health in our songs, it's to help people. And I don't know if writing rock songs like with the express idea of helping people was a particularly popular thing before. It's more like, I'm angry, or like, these are breakup songs. It wasn't always like the positive message, I think, so much in rock.
That's true. That's true. I think certain hardcore and metalcore bands would focus on that a lot in the late 90s and early 2000s. Think about Killswitch Engage. A lot of their songs were very clearly about self-stewardship of mental health and things like that. Yeah, but it seems to be in a more extreme music of here's some super aggressive music that illustrates this inner conflict and turmoil. Whereas now, yes, I think you guys are right that it is more widely talked about and observed, and it very naturally in our music progressed to the point where we were going, yes, actually that is what we're doing. And I think with Through the Misery, that was the first illustration of this is a song where we are actually putting out a positive message in this song. Hey, it's really working. From
the misery to Through the Misery, was
really
like the big sea change.
Do people know about this? Do people know that was the original title and it was changed for a more positive angle?
I think we've discussed it, but I'm very happy to discuss it again. Okay. Which was that originally we were calling the song The Misery, and then in brackets Only You. And I think the issue with that was that it sounded like it was a love song in some way, or unrequited love, or some sort of romantic. And we had the idea to actually change it to Through the Misery, as in it being the progression of going from one state of struggle to something on the other side.
We also had like Sorrow and then The Misery, and I was thinking this sounds really depressing, and that's not really the vibe. So maybe we should switch it around.
But yeah, that definitely, as you say, that hallmarks the sea change of actually let's now write these songs dark anthems. This is a positive angle on this, and with a lot of the songs on the new record, I think it's pretty much a very large percent of the songs on the record have this positive message of empowerment and overcoming struggle, whether that be on a personal level or it be through struggles with relationships with others. It's very much, and that's helped us to define the sense, an overarching theme for the album, and then give us a sense of every time we're writing something, whether it be a part or a lyric or the structure or the arrangement, we're thinking, actually, how does this fit into the overarching theme of the positive progression message of the album?
I agree.
Splendid.
Very well.
So we don't have much time left because we've got to stop in a minute.
We don't know. What's the one thing that you want to tell everyone this week? What's your one takeaway or exciting thing that's happening before we go?
I found this ice cream T-shirt in my garage.
Stand up. Let's see. and yeah. So this is from when?
2013, probably.
2013.
10 years since I did a gig with Starscream. It's my previous band, if no one knows. We were thinking about doing a reunion show later on in the year, because then it'd be 10 years since we last played together. So that'd be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a fun thing to do.
Cool. I take it that's your design.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I've got loads of these. I might put them online. If anyone wants a vintage.
Yeah.
Well, there's like 5 boxes or something of merch, so it needs selling. So might as well do another gig.
I spent bank holidays sorting out my garage and found loads of goodies.
Nice.
He let me have one T-shirt
For free. Didn't make you pay.
So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anything else?
Huh? I don't know. We do a little bit of Patreon content.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
So if you switch onto Patreon just now, you will find out a little bit more about the Devil's Flaming Hoof.
Oh,
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.